Hey guys, and welcome to another War of Emperium session here in Ragnarok Online GGH. We are your casters. My name is James.
Hey, my name is MG,
And
and
how are you, MG?
um, I'm still tired, but pretty hyped for the War of Imperium, of course.
Yeah, we still have that, like the aftershock from
Aftershock,
what happened,
yeah,
what went on last weekend here in PH Conquest Festival event. Of course, ROGGH is there. But, today we are going to have our another War of Imperium session here in
yes.
ROGGH. And I think a lot of the guilds or a lot of the players are looking for the live. I'm sorry we didn't manage to go live last Saturday, but because we are at the event.
Yep,
But as you can see actually in the screen, the flags are now updated. You can now
yep,
see the emblems of the guilds. So that's another good thing that we can actually see right now. We will know more about the guilds, and we can see
yes.
the full size emblem of the other guilds as well. But if you are watching the stream right now, please do like and share our page, and you can share our stream as well. And
Mm-hmm.
you can follow and join our ROGGH Discord for more updates and up to date happenings
Happenings. Yeah.
about what's happening here in ROGGH.
Yep.
And yeah, actually, a lot of people are now in the chat said here for
Ooh,
RK, Go RKM Gaming, okay,
RKM.
Alliance, calling all guild leaders. And yeah, a lot of people are here. So if you do want to shout out your guild, just comment it in our comment section. I'm reading the comments right now. So if you do want to give your guild a shout out, if you want to shout out your, the other players that are participating in our War of Imperium for tonight, you can do so by, just commenting in the comment section. We'll be reading that as well.
Yep.
And yeah, actually, I'm not really sure where the other players are at right now. I don't know where they are doing their own
Oh,
battles, but we are following some
Arsenal.
players everywhere. If you manage to see them, so if you do have an idea where they are at right now, just type it in the comment section. We can go to that castle as well.
Yes.
All right.
And currently, we saw Arsenal right now. They have decent numbers, but we're trying to find out where is what do you call this the
Mm-hmm.
Dominari DS Cartel. Yeah, and I think everyone is looking for DS Cartel right now.
Uh
So
huh.
yeah, we need to find them.
Yeah, you can while you are finding them. Actually, I want to explain to our viewers who are maybe new to Ragnarok Online
Mm,
and it's not familiar about War of Imperium. So War of Imperium is a game feature that allows guilds to fight each other in order to conquer a castle for their guild to get benefits and special advantages. There are four castle locations: Frontera Valkyrie Realm, Payon Baldur or Greenwood Lake Realm, Jeffen Britonia Realm, and Aldebaran Luina Realm. So what are the benefits and special advantages you can get by conquering a castle at the end of the session? So one of the things actually that the guilds are looking forward to into getting or into gaining from or the advantage of gaining a castle is that they can actually try and get a chance to get a certain loots from the treasure chests that spawn every 12 midnight and every castle.
yep.
So you can get special items. They're exclusive items from different castles. Like in Scarlet Palace, Payon, you can get the emblem of the sun god, which you can use to craft a solar god helm, which is one of the items, one of the, how can I say, the headgears that are that is the a popular headgear that's
Yes, it's
like
actually a symbol of dominance.
symbol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, those are examples of the things that you can actually gain from conquering a castle. And another thing is you can have access to the guild dungeons, which you will see some special monsters there that aren't seen in the other fields in the certain maps. So they only spawn in the guild dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's why guilds are eager to, conquer castles. Of course, they want to get the benefits from conquering a castle.
Yes. Speaking of benefits, guys, don't forget to check out the codes that we are actually posting from time to
Mm-hmm.
time on our right side of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually posting multiple codes from time to time for the entire session of War of Imperium. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure to claim them. And if you want to claim them, or if you don't know how to claim them, there's actually an instruction on the comment section. All you need to do is just check that out and claim it, and you will get some cool rewards, in-game rewards. Yeah.
Yes, the rewards that you can get from the codes are
Mm-hmm.
battle manuals,
Yep.
job manuals, blessing and agi scrolls, mystic powders, and tears blessing.
Blessings. Yeah.
So some of the things that you can use to actually boost your leveling and gaming experience. And we
Yep.
are also going to talk about the other events that are ongoing in game right now.
Yes.
We'll touch more about that topic later on. But in the comments right now, actually shout out to KS Guild said Jose. So
KS
Go
Guild.
DS Cartel said Anne, and hello James, hello said Kevin. So what's up guys? So if you are watching right now, please do like and share the stream. Of course, we want more people to know more about ROGGH and to see how exciting everything is in our server.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm still uh I'm still like in the aftershock of what happened last weekend, MG. Of course,
Yes.
we all know here in the Philippines we had a Conquest Festival event and ROGGH was there. And yeah, a lot of things. I got to meet some of the players. Some of the guilds that went there.
Yep.
Members from Adonis, Last
Last
Nightmare,
Nightmare.
and I think I didn't manage to speak with some of the other players from different guilds as well. But if you did drop by in our booth in the Conquest Festival event, please do type it in the comment section. You just tell us what you did there, or if you did drop by, just let us know. Just let us know if you dropped by.
Yep. But what I like about the booth there, of course, the goodies. Like
Oh
what we
yeah.
got right now, we got the shirt, we got the cap, we got the bag. We also got the face mask, right?
Uh huh.
Yeah, and the pouring plushie. Really, the pouring plushie.
Yeah, you can get a lot from just attending an ROGGH event.
Mm.
And right now, as you can see, MG, DS Cartel is just holding a spot here in Payon.
Yep.
So I think they are planning to battle it out with another guild that is going to come later on. But
Uh,
right now, of course, DS Cartel, they just DS Cartel, like just debuted I think 2 sessions ago, War
yeah.
of Emperium sessions ago.
2 weeks
So
ago.
last Tuesday, yeah. So last Tuesday, that was the first time they actually, appeared in a War of Emperium session.
Yes. And again, surprisingly, we're actually seeing them with the good
Mm-hmm.
numbers. They've been very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they also got new members. I'm seeing new names on their lineup, new classes on their lineup,
Mm-hmm.
and having this additional manpower on their side. Definitely, this guild can actually do damage. So I'm pretty excited
Mm-hmm.
if we're gonna see a Dominati versus DS Cartel tonight. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yes, and there are 20 castles open in every War of Imperium. So, yeah, there are a lot of castles to actually, take. So if you are a guild, you can get different castles, of course, if you want special advantages for your guild and benefits, like what we mentioned earlier. And you know, it's different for every castle because you can get special items. Like
yep,
you can use those items to craft god items like special headgears and those sort of things. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the battle between Last Nightmare and Dominaria again. Two even-sized guilds,
Yes.
if I may call it that way. Two even-sized guilds. And as you can see right now, DS Cartel has a lot of
Yep.
members currently.
They
So
have a
maybe, later on we will see what the other guilds are going to how on their strategy on how to deal with DS Cartel. Because
yeah.
in their last War of Emperium stream session, we saw how DS Cartel managed to beat. I think they were dealing with. No, yeah, they were dealing with
Yeah.
another guild. Forgot which guild it was. I think that's Arsenal. So
Arsenal.
they actually battled it out with Arsenal in the last War of Imperium sessions team. And they did pretty good because the strategy that they are doing, the curse circle using
Ooh.
those suras, and of course Dragon's Breath will go out and eliminating some of the members from DS Cartel right there. But how much damage can a Rune Knight give you? Of course, you will get punished if you don't deal with the Rune Knight.
Yes. And surprisingly, they have a decent
Oh, Dominar is there.
yes, I think they have a decent support now. They have multiple sorcerer on their lineup right now. Seeing those multiple vacuums preventing those enemies to come in, and having those Archbishop as well, securing those Numa will actually give them an advantage to set the tempo on their push for fighting Dominari. So let's see if Dominari is gonna answer back on this push. But Dominari went back on the top lane here, or top side of the portal. Let's see if are they or if they're gonna turtle it out, or are they go for a counter push. I think
Yeah.
DS Cartel is waiting also on the side of on this side.
Yeah, I think that, patience is key in every battle. So maybe if they manage to hold it out for a bit, of course they can position themselves in the right spot. Maybe they can actually deal with a Dominari. But looking at the numbers right now, Dominari actually, that was the purple Dominari right
Yes,
there.
yes.
They don't have a lot of numbers currently regrouped there at the top. So maybe later on we will be seeing the red Dominari battle
Yeah.
out with DS Cartel as well. We haven't seen Last Nightmare for a time being, but maybe we will see
Okay.
them later on in different castles. But Dominari is now going
Okay,
to
here we
push in,
go.
waiting for the opportunity to strike. They are
Vacuums
pushing
in.
together. And
Dragon's
look at
Breath.
that land protector on both sides, and you can see
Oh!
the Meteor Storms and Arrow Storms. But what's dangerous here, because they have that land protector, they cannot
Oh
cast that
my!
Numa, as DS Cartel will get wiped out here. And Dominari just pushing in this castle, just eliminating the defenders or the people,
Wow.
blocking their path to enter the castle.
Okay, Arsenal now
And
on the
Arsenal
other side.
is here as well. Arsenal is just defending their own castle. Look at the Dragon's Breath and Arrow Storms coming from both sides. Of course, that Stormgust will
Okay, you're trying
actually,
to move down?
occupy that spot. That
The damage?
has no
Oh!
land protector right there, as Arsenal will push out
Woo!
and deal with the members of Dominari right there. So Arsenal is really doing good right now. Actually,
Yep.
just picked off the members that are remaining in the side of Dominari.
Yes, and James, I also believe that the first fight that you're gonna take in every war of Imperium is very important, because that fight will actually set the tempo for the entire session, or for the first half session for your guild. So having that win on the side of Arsenal can actually boost their morale on pushing multiple guilds. For example, versus Dominari and versus DS Cartel. And that's a good counter on the side of Arsenal. Well
Yes,
coordinated.
but Arsenal is just defending their own castle right now.
Yep.
But Dominari will regroup once again. Same with DS Cartel. But some of the members are DS Cartel, just trying to scout the castle right now, making
Yeah.
sure no one is there. But Dominari is so quick to regroup there at the top area inside the portal.
Yeah.
But you can see those guillotine cross, just using those cross impact, just picking off those squishy members
Ooh.
of different of their opponents.
Yes.
But Dominari is just going to hold this spot, making
Yeah.
sure no one else enters in. But
Oh!
Dominari and DS Artel went in together at the same time,
A
and
massive-
that Overbrand is going to deal a bit of damage right there. But Dominari already got a hold of this spot, while DS Cartel will try and regroup maybe at the bottom of this portal to deal with Dominari first before going in and trying to take down Arsenal.
Yes. I think earlier what happened there is DS Cartel has a slow reaction time regarding on Dominari's push. Dominari didn't hesitate on that push, making sure that there's no reaction coming out from DS Cartel. They actually spam multiple Numas as well, securing their Rune Knights as well. And those Rune Knights managed to connect their Dragon's Breath to multiple players, resulting into a massive kill or connecting to 5 to 6 players on that push. And yeah, Dominari showed them how the Numas are working on their side. And maybe they actually learned from the past War of Imperium versus DS Cartel.
Ooh,
So I
DS
think
Cartel's in.
they made an adjustment.
Yes, but this Cartel trying to go in. They have
Oh!
Land Protector
Yeah.
casted right now, but Dragon's Breath just eliminating a lot of members from Dominaria right now. DS Cartel
The push!
going in. They went in together. They're going to push and take down the members of Dominaria right here. But both sides are taking damage.
Oh!
Red Dominaria is here.
Oh!
For time being, this is the Dominaria led by Delinquent.
They-
And you know, because
That-
Dominaria has 2 guilds. So it's pretty difficult to deal with,
Oh my.
two large size guilds on your own.
They didn't
And,
give the opportunity to push there on the side of DS
Oh.
Cartel.
Look at the numbers of Dominaria right
Wow.
there. And
No
yeah,
mercy.
actually, DS Cartel got their moment for at the time being for a little while. They got their moment, but Dominari just pushed in and just eliminated their members.
Yes.
And yeah, and because of that, they are just going to hold this portal while Arsenal is just defending this castle.
Yes. And I think James Dominari is doing good on this one because they don't want to give DS Cartel the momentum that they had on the like what they did on the last session, right? Because on that last session, DS Cartel managed to have their momentum. They're very consistent on the damage, and now I think Dominari doesn't want to give that space to them, and that's why the Red Dominari instantly managed to push in and try to collapse the defense immediately on the side of the Cartel.
Yes, and this is where the decision making comes in. You need to decide on whether to cast that Land Protector or get that Numa in. But Arsenal is going to have a hard time defending
Here we
their own
go.
castle because you look at the numbers of Dominari right
Okay.
there. Some of the members of
Dragon's
Dominari
Breath
just
there?
getting taken
Oh.
out. Dragon's Breath, of course, coming from the side of Arsenal. But look at Dominari.
Yes.
Their numbers.
Okay, Dominari?
They're swarming. They're swarming inside and just
Oh.
taking down Arsenal right there with their sheer dominating numbers. And I think this is why they're called Dominari.
Yeah.
It's a yeah, they're just dominating with their numbers.
Yes.
They have a lot of players in their guild, and because of that, it's going to be hard for the defenders to actually do something to deal with them attacking their
Yes.
castle. But Arsenal doesn't have that defense set up here, the third portal in Kremhild. Unlike what Nonsense is usually doing, or DS Cartel.
Yeah.
The portal dev that they are doing is pretty effective into dealing with very large size guilds because you can pick off a lot of their members before your players go down.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, just want to give a kudos to that Rune Knight earlier from Arsenal. He managed to take down several players from Dominari. I think if they have that multiple range pressure coming from their Rune Knight, they can actually lessen down the aggression on the side of Dominari. But apparently, the Dominari side recognized that there's no firepower or there's no contest on their side. That's why they just went in and overpush the entire guild of Arsenal. There you go.
Yes. Currently, I haven't seen the members of Goons and Nonsense anywhere. Even Last Nightmare for now. Maybe if Last Nightmare pushes in on the castle where Dominari is holding, maybe there will be an even chance of a uh, even battle because
Yeah.
Last Nightmare has a lot of members as well. So they are in the middle of Frontera. This is, I think,
Fragrid.
Fadgrid.
Fragrid.
This is Fadgrid Castle. So I think they are just holding
Okay.
the entrance right now. Arsenal is going to push in. This cartel is the one holding this castle right now. And
Okay.
like what happened in the last Warfare WOE stream, we saw how DS Cartel defended this castle.
Yes.
Well, Arsenal tried to push in. That cursed circle dealt a lot of
Body
damage
rail
against.
curse circle. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that cursed circle dealt a lot of damage against the Arsenal because Arsenal they are all piled up in one spot. Of course, cursed circle affects the 5x5 cell
Five,
around
five
the
by five. Yeah.
caster. Yeah, the 5x5 cell around the caster, which makes it difficult for the other players or other members to do something if they're all
Yeah.
in one spot. But
Exactly.
right now, Arsenal will push back. Maybe they're waiting for their other members to go in before they push in this castle.
Yep.
And Arsenal has a lot of numbers as well right now, but not as much as Dominari.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think Arsenal needs to be careful in this one. If they
Ooh,
want to take down DS
but look
Cartel,
at
they need to
Dominari
take
though.
as fast as they can. But yeah, I think they're just gonna focus first on the entrance and try to farm Dominari. And if DS Cartel is aware on this push or this defend that Arsenal is doing right now, they can actually try to sneak behind
Mhm.
Arsenal. But I think Arsenal is done.
Yeah, I think they need to regroup
Yeah.
outside the castle first before going in. They tried to defend this spot, but the sheer numbers of Dominari is really hard to deal with, especially when everyone goes in together. Right now, Dominari is going to hold the entrance of this castle while they are going to push in right now. They are regrouping.
Okay.
And,
And
you
this is gonna
know,
be a top for DS Cartel having two guilds
mhm.
immediately on this first half of Warf Imperium, because on the last Warf Imperium they let the purple Dominari to have their 1v1 session versus DS Cartel, but right now I think Dominari is showing no mercy to this new guild,
Yes.
DS Cartel.
Yes, and DS Cartel is kind of aware that Dominari is there right now. So I think that GG setup that they have right now is not really ideal to deal with a lot of numbers right here. But they can actually cause miracles. Let's see what happens right there. Of course, they have that AOE skills casted on the floor right now. But DS
Okay,
Cartel wants to push in. They
vacuum.
want to push Dominari out, dispels, and of course Dragon's Breath coming in
Okay,
on both sides.
DS
And
Cartel is
they
doing
have
good.
that Land Protector on.
Okay,
They
let's
don't
check.
have that Numa. Dominari is losing a lot of members right here where DS Cartel is just trying to
Magic string
hold.
there.
But of course, like what we
They're
mentioned
losing
earlier,
numbers now. They're losing numbers
Dominari
now.
has a lot of players. And look at the swarm once again coming from Dominari. They want to fall back. They want to go
Ooh.
back inside this castle and defend at a different spot. But this is going to be pretty difficult for DS Cartel if they want to take down
Yeah.
Dominari right there.
Woof. At one point, we thought that DS Cartel can actually take down, but again, there is actually like a 7 cell stack at the back of those frontliners on the side of Dominari, which is very wise to do because they don't want to have that Badirello curse circle on the side of DS Cartel. And I think DS Cartel is trying to maximize that strategy, the
Mhm.
Sura jumping to those key players, which is the Rune Knights, preventing the Rune Knights to cast those multiple heavy damage to the side, or I mean to their guild. And yeah, good initiation there coming from Dominari.
Yes, and while Dominari is going to break this castle and conquer it for themselves, I want to remind you guys that we have codes that are flashed here at the lower right portion of our screen. So make sure to check it out. The first one to redeem the code will be able to claim the prize. So you can so how to redeem the codes? You need to log into ro.gnjoy.asia.com. Once logged in, click on the membership tab and click coupon code. Uh, uh,
Yep.
coupon code on the left panel. Then enter the coupon code and hit the redeem code button. Once you've inserted the code, log into your Ragnarok online account and you can claim your rewards from the roadmap.
Yes.
Again, first one to redeem the code will be able to claim the
Yes.
reward. If you're the second one to do so, you won't be able to get anything. Right?
Yes. It's a one-time use, guys. So make sure
Yeah, it's a one-time use.
to input it
Be
right away.
quick. Make sure to be quick. Make sure to
Yeah.
be quick in inputting your codes. But speaking of codes, I want to talk about the
Mm.
ongoing events currently
Oh,
in the
that's.
server because um we have our Heroes Trail still ongoing right now. So
Mm.
yeah, for the Heroes Trail, hold on. Yeah, the crack in the dimension left by Satan Warrock when he ran away allowed Rune Midgard to discover the new world. Now, scientists have discovered a new way to exploit its power. Time
Time
traveling.
travel.
Time traveling, of course. By using their new device, you can join them in the spatial rift. From there, you can still reach the new world, but you can also explore past times. And again, if you want to know more information about this event, you can visit the website ro.gnjoy.asia.com or join the ROGGH
GGH.
Discord. Links can be found in the pinned comment of the stream.
Yep.
Alright.
Okay. So I think the Minari is just gonna defend this, the red one, and for the purple one, I think they're on the other side. Maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe they're in different castle for now because they're kind of like following where DS Cartel is
Yes.
going. So I'm not sure if they have bad blood against DS Cartel, but DS
Oh,
Cartel.
Goons is here.
Oh, Goons is there. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Ooh. What happened right there?
Earth Wave.
But Last
Wow.
Nightmare, some members of Last Nightmare are going in as well. I'm not sure where the whole guild is right now, but they might be somewhere defending, or they might be in a different area, just roaming around, or
Yeah.
they might be just regrouping right now. Still not ready for the War of Imperium session, so they're just getting ready. Maybe participate later on because we still do have on our end 31 minutes left
Yes.
remaining in our session.
Yes. And on the side of DS Cartel, I think it's actually a wise thing to do to not to get an head-on fight versus the two guilds or three guilds of Dominari. It's actually a wise thing to do because again, you need to keep your members' morale up and running for the entire session. Again, we have a 2-hour session of War of Imperium. You don't want your members to get to be burnt out on those fights versus large guilds. So you need to have an advantage situation, like for example a choke point, or even taking them one by one, right? So I think
Yes.
DS Cartel is doing what's the best for their guild, and they're just trying to be patient. They want that 1v1 versus the Dominari. It's just Dominari is showing they have three guilds. We have three guilds. We can wipe you instantly. And yeah, I think this cartel is very patient currently, and I'm kind of excited to see a 1v1 match versus the red one and the DS cartel.
Yeah, but like what we said earlier, patience will play a huge part in
Yes.
every War of Imperium session because you need to wait for the right timing and opportunity to strike. Because you can actually also wait to for the other guild to make mistakes before going in. You
Yes.
can wait for them to push in and anticipate what they are going to do next and their strategy. So
Yes.
some of the guilds here, the one thing that is actually um, obvious that we can see is that they people or the guilds will anticipate what the other guilds are going to use. If they're going to use more of the AoE skills, they have that land protector on.
Yep.
If they are going to use more of the dragon's breath and what they call this arrow storm or long
Arstorm,
range
yeah.
physical skills, they need to have that Numa on the ground, so
Yep.
they don't want that land protector in. So they need to anticipate what the other guild is, or the composition of the other guild, to actually change their strategy into dealing with their opponents.
Yes. And seeing the meta right now, I think most of the meta right now is mostly on the long range side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And rarely we see a. I think only DS Cartel is doing the, you know, the footies push, like the Suras going in and doing a curse circle. I think they are the first, not, I mean, not the first, maybe there are the guild who's maximizing that curse circle. Yeah.
I
And
think I saw Last Nightmare do it in the last
yeah,
session
yeah,
as
yeah.
well. But Dominari is doing that as well, but it's not really that, um you cannot see it because there are a lot of members
Yes, yes,
for
yes.
Dominari. But I think some of the sewers are actually doing that as well for Dominari. But
Yes.
Curse Circle is one of the skills that are very dangerous to deal with if you
Exactly.
don't have a lot of numbers.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
especially you need to have your archbishop to be alert every time there is I mean your members specifically got hit by that cursicle. You need to have a quick refresh and heals up and running for those allied guildmates that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think having multiple archbishop on your guild as well can actually sustain those counter push coming from those type of meta strategy that the
Yes.
opponents has. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the best way to prevent that is the vacuum coming from the sorcerer. Again, once a player got hit by the vacuum, um, you cannot actually move for 5 seconds on
Mm-hmm.
that vacuum. Once the vacuum hit your character, 5 seconds disabled, and again, that's gonna be a free hit on your side to that player.
Yes, and it says here by Chris, the code has been used. Codes are a one-time use, so those who want to redeem the code will be able to claim the reward. If you are late, if you are not quick enough to actually redeem the codes, you won't be able to get anything. And yeah, speaking of codes, we actually ROGGH gave out a lot of codes there at the Conquest Festival.
Yeah,
That happened last weekend, and attending those sort of events and the events held by ROGGH,
yeah,
they gave out a lot of things. They gave out a
exactly.
lot of stuff, so you can anticipate that you know your trip will be worth.
Yes, and what is it I like about the event is it's very clear that ROGGH is very supportive to the community of this game as well, right? They're actually supporting it through the events that they been hosting recently. I think they have multiple events. They have events in Singapore as well. Um, and again, the last event is in. I mean, the reason that we have is in Conquest, and
Mhm.
maybe we're gonna have more. Yeah,
Yeah, of
in the
course we're going to
Philippines.
have
Yeah,
more in
yeah.
ROGGH. Of course we're going to have more, but what we're going to have next is we're going to have another community event since you just mentioned it.
Woohoo!
We will have a SG community event. Of course, ROGGH will have a community event in Singapore on the 20th of August. So come meet our CM Miko and fellow players. You can RSVP, of course, you're interested in joining the event
Yep.
now. And yeah, we actually met our CM Miko there
Oh
in the
yeah, yeah.
Conquest Festival as well. And yeah, speaking of the event, a lot of players went there as well. But if you're actually one of the players who went there to the event but didn't manage to get to say hi, you just spin the wheel or maybe uh, participated in the raffle,
Mm-hmm.
the lucky draw, and I swear, the winners of the lucky draw are really lucky. I swear,
I don't want to
because
talk about it anymore. Yeah,
yeah, they
yeah.
got a lot. The winners.
Like
Yeah.
on the just imagine, James, on the first day, two keyboards, Razer keyboards, two headset. I think that's a Black Shark version 2 headset, well, Black Shark version 2X, and three.
Let's just say they gave out Razer peripherals in the
Yeah,
lucky draw.
that's a
Yeah.
lot, bro. Like
Yeah, a lot of Razer peripherals. So
first day, second day, even in
mhm.
second day. Ah, yeah,
Yeah, actually, in the 2 days of the PH Pocket Festival event, they gave out a lot of stuff. But
yeah,
those who won the lucky draw, you guys are very, very lucky,
yep.
very fortunate to win the lucky
Orange,
draw.
RNG gods.
Personally, I never win. I never win those. I never win those.
I tried.
But if you actually won the lucky draw and you're watching the stream right now, please do comment in the comment section, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of events, we do have more in-game events currently ongoing.
Yep.
We mentioned this for a lot of times before in the streams, but we still have our Noodle Festival ongoing here in ROGGH. It's ROGGH second seasonal event. The Noodle Festival of Malangdo bears strange
Oh.
origins but has since evolved into a popular festival loved by everyone. Each year, the cast citizens of Malangdo spend full months eating noodles to celebrate the discovery of strange new lands and creatures. Now they invite you to join in on the fun with them. Speak to Festa receptionist to join the festivities till August 4, 2022. All right,
Yeah. Noodles.
noodles. Of course, we have a lot of in-game events currently ongoing, and
Actually.
you can look forward to more on-site events for ROGGH as well. We're pretty excited
Oh, I'm
to
excited that
know what's going to happen in the future because uh, I um, I know ROGGH has a lot of things planned.
a lot of surprises.
A lot of
Maybe.
surprises are coming, so just
Yeah.
make sure to stay updated on the page. You can join the ROGGH Discord or just like and follow the Ragnarok Online GGH Facebook page. To stay updated. You can visit the website, of course, every now and then to check on what's happening and the updates every now and then there.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. And right now we're following Fratres here.
Patres ad vitam.
Yes, they have like a 20-man sized
More
numbers
than
right now.
20
Yeah,
now. Maybe
20
around
plus. Yeah.
25. Yeah, 20
Yeah, yeah, 20,
plus.
20 plus.
And I haven't seen nonsense for now. I haven't seen them anywhere. Maybe they're at a different spot though.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. But because usually they want to keep things quiet.
Yeah.
They want to just hold a castle, not really a hot castle, but they just want to hold a castle and not really eager to participate in a GVG battle
Yep.
against other guilds. But when they are forced to do so, when they are defending their own castle, they are able to capitalize on every situation given to them
Yes.
because they are really really good in actually doing a portal defense
Yes.
because they have a decent defense setup every time. They
Yep.
have that Roki's Veil or what you call here classical pluck.
Yep.
They have those rolling cutters just dealing damage, physical damage against your opponents, and of course we also do have they also do have those wizards and sorcerers just at the
Yes.
back line just dealing damage as well.
Yep.
And right
Okay.
now,
Nemesis.
Nemesis
Wait,
Armada
wait, wait,
is
wait.
going.
Speaking of nonsense, we have nonsense right now.
Oh, so Nancy is going to be there
Yeah.
as well.
So
Yeah, you just can't see the emblem of Nonsense right now. They still have that emblem because I think you need to have an emblem for you to participate in War of Emperium. But they are going to try and push in. Maybe they can eliminate
they have numbers now.
Fratres.
Wow.
They can eliminate Fratres Advitam, who is just defending.
And
Um,
we saw Armada here. A Nemesis Armada? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nemesis Armada.
Armada.
And they're not hitting Nemesis.
Maybe they just want to go in first.
Okay.
Maybe they just want to go in first.
Fratres trying to contest.
Mhm.
You need to go back. Oh my.
So I think Fratres is just holding that third portal, and they are just going to try and defend. No, they
Okay.
don't have a lot of defense setup right now, but they are just going to try and defend. Of course, they have that Sura in. Some members of Nonsense are going to push in. Of
Acid
course,
bomb.
they have that those arrow storms and dragon breaths going on both sides. But Nonsense is going to just try and push in, while Fratres is going to defend this castle. I don't know
Yes.
where Fratres is. Maybe they want to give this castle away,
No,
or
Fratres
maybe
is
they're
a.
oh,
Oh, they're just going.
maybe defending,
They're just gonna go in.
and improve. Oh,
Dragon's Breath,
yep. So
Arrow
they're
Storm,
just going to defend the Imperium room right now, while Nonsense, some
Diamond
of their
Dust.
members will get eliminated right here. While Fratres only has a few members here
Yeah.
in this castle, so it's pretty dangerous for
Chain
Fratres
Lightning,
right
Dragon's Breath
now.
connecting.
Mm-hmm.
They need to
Well,
remove that LP.
Nonsense. Yeah, well, Nonsense actually noticed late that Fratres is defending this.
Yeah.
So actually, I think they didn't anticipate. Maybe they are defending the what do you call this? The third portal, because
Ooh.
they already have this thing set up. But you know, Fratres, I don't think they have plans in defending this castle. They have decent numbers from
Yep.
what we saw earlier. I think around 20 or 25 maybe members
Yep.
around those numbers. But Nonsense has a lot of
No,
numbers
Last
as well.
Nightmare is going
Last
in now.
Nightmare is going to be here. They only have a few members pushing in right now here. I think they pushed in earlier with the full guild, but right now only a few of their members are here in the
Yeah.
Emp room.
That's a good one
Yeah.
coming from Last Nightmare for snatching this Imperium.
Yes, and
Yep.
maybe actually we can go outside the castle and see what's happening out there. I think some guilds or some players might be delaying them for a time being.
Yep.
And yeah,
Oh, nonsense.
some
Dominari.
I think a lot of guilds are aiming to take this castle right now because you know from our interviews with the players there in Conquest, they've mentioned or they told us that their guild is just following where the stream is. So maybe where we are, they are there. Because
Yeah.
of course they want to be captured on stream. You know, so everyone can participate, or they will see, or we will
Yeah,
see
I-
what they are doing.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's what they told us though. That's what they told us. I'm not sure how accurate the information that they told us is, but some of the guilds do that, and I understand that
Yes.
they're going to do that because you know the focus, the attention is going to be, of course, and in the stream because most of the time we are just following guilds as well.
Yes.
So where they are, most likely there's a guild there.
Yeah, speaking of guilds, actually, I spoke one of the Last Nightmares Archbishop, and I'm not sure if I can say that his name on the stream, but his name starts with the B. Yeah, and he's one of the Archbishops of Last Nightmare. So shoutouts to you, bro, and yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, a lot of players are also streamers. Some of the
Streamers,
of,
yeah.
ROGJs are
Yep.
there as well. But you know, let's have maybe we can talk more about what happened at Conquest Festival later on. But what's happening here is that Dominari is going to hold this entrance, and look at their positioning. Look at the positioning of Dominari right now. What's dangerous for the positioning of Dominari is if one Sura of the opposing team manages to go inside their stack and cast that curse circle, everyone or most of them will be affected. And I think the best counter strategy against those the curse circle is that
Yep.
you need to be spread out. You need to have your damage dealers you know, separated and not all compiled in one spot.
Yes. And as you can notice, most of the supports of Dominari is actually outside the periphery of this land protector. And from time to time, they've been casting this vacuum as well, preventing players to jump in on their stack as well. So I think they're pretty secured on this one. Having like 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 for that, I think I got cursor. And that's
You got affected.
I got affected by the curse circle. Anyways, going back, yeah, having those multiple vacuums in front of the portal can actually prevent those risky Value Relock and Curse Circle. So good play here coming from the Dominari.
Yes. And stream sniping, I'm not sure if stream sniping is really the right term to use. Probably, but we have a stream delay set up. So uh it's not really possible for you to actually check out the defenses of every other guild out
Okay.
there. But you can stream snipe if you want to know where everyone is.
Yeah, and I just
I
want.
think I think they're of course they also do want to watch a stream. Since we do have codes being given away
Yeah,
in the stream as well.
and to be fair, regarding the stream sniping, I think most of the guilds right now that we have is actually pushing for the fights, right?
Mm.
So I think there's not. I think the stream sniping should be, shouldn't be a case because again, we have fight guilds
Mm.
in our server. They're very eager to find those or they're eager to fight multiple guilds, and again, they have the numbers to scout those guilds as well, right?
Mm.
And having a delay on our side, I think that's not even possible.
Yeah, and right
Yeah,
now, of course, the guilds are just eager to participate in
yeah,
a GVG battle against one another, like what we saw earlier or in the last sessions. Last Nightmare and Dominari, they actually, directed us to their castle or where they are
yeah.
doing that GVG.
They even
So they just
commenting. Yeah,
commented in the comment
yeah. You just
section,
go
"We
here.
are here in this castle. Go here. We are going to have a GVG. Come watch." So we went there and we saw what they are doing.
Yep.
We also saw a Dominari versus Dominari battle. I think that was in the last War of Imperium session stream. And yeah, a lot of things are happening in stream. Of course, we want to capture everything so you guys can see as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All
Again,
right, so
guys.
Dominari.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so Dominari is just holding this spot right now. I'm
Mhm.
not sure how the other guilds are going to deal with the numbers of Dominari because again they have I think two full size guilds. I don't know if how many members they have currently online on both guilds, but they have a lot of numbers, I can tell. They have a lot of numbers. When they attack your castle,
Yes.
they're like a huge swarm. They're huge, they are a huge swarm just going in and making sure they eliminate you when you go in.
Yeah, I agree. And I think
Mm-hmm.
somebody is shouting in game as well for GVG. So hopefully that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Yeah,
see a
and
full fight versus Dominari and Yes Cartel.
yes, and some banters of course in the in-game shouts,
Yeah.
but Dominari is really a dangerous guild to deal with. Last Nightmare, we haven't seen their full numbers for a time being. Maybe they are defending a different castle.
Yep.
No one here in Scarlet Palace right now. No one is defending. So maybe Dominari is going to take this. Of course,
Yeah.
Scarlet Palace has that emblem of the Sun God. We see that new novice actually over there.
Yep.
So hello, new player or new character. And Scarlet Palace, of course, this is one of the hot castles. In our first four War of Imperium session event that happened weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the castle that Last Nightmare wants the most because, Emblem of Sun God drops here. And yeah, speaking of events, we have
Ooh. Ooh.
another event. I want to talk about another event that we have. This is Help King Pouring. So King Pouring needs your help. Of
Ooh.
course, speak to him in Frontera to find out what he needs. You will be sent on a daily mission to hunt golden pourings. Make sure you collect its drops. Trade in the items dropped in exchange for consumables or costume pouring bag. Event period is until the 4th of August
Yes.
2022. If you want to know more information about the event, you can visit our website ro.gnjoy.asia.com or join the ROGGH Discord. You can
Yes.
find the links in the pinned comment section of the stream. All right.
Nice. Okay, I think
And
guilds are moving to multiple castles now. Actually, this is
mhm.
the first time that we saw this castle has got contested by Dominari and Arsenal. Arsenal earlier was defending. Goons went in,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they just went inside. Let's go and check.
Yes. Well, other guilds are still, I think, in Frontera castles right now. So, maybe DS Cartel. So, from my scouting, DS Cartel is in Kremhild right now.
Crime Hill, yeah.
Maybe some players are there in Fad Grid. Dominari is doing some scouting, of course. But if they don't have their full numbers into defending a castle, they will have a hard time. Because they won't be able to deal with the dominating numbers of their
Yes.
opposing guilds.
They need to have that perfect execution.
Mhm.
If they're gonna fight a huge number on this.
Yes. And again, a reminder, we have codes in the lower right portion of the screen, so make sure to do check it out. First come, first serve. First one to redeem the code will be able to get those rewards. It's a one-time use
Use
code
Yep.
only, so if you're the second or the third one to use the code, you won't be able to get anything. So the quicker you redeem those codes, or uh, what do you call this? Your dedication to the
Yeah.
stream. If you
Yes.
are that dedicated to the stream, and you actually check that out every now and then, and you anticipate when we are going to change the
Yes.
codes right there, and you are quick enough to actually input it and redeem the code, you'll be able to get certain rewards such as battle
Ooh.
manuals,
Yep.
job manuals, blessing scrolls, Adi scrolls, mystic powders, and tears of blessing.
Yes. And I suggest you put a separate browser for your account. So once
Mm,
the code change, you can just manually input it as soon as you can.
yes. And yeah, actually, DS Cartel is just holding the castle right now. They just
Okay.
actually
Okay.
occupied it, while Dominari is regrouping here at the entrance of the castle. So if they push in, they're not with the purple Dominari for now. But I think the best option for DS Cartel is to actually do that portal defense,
Yes.
which they are, I think we briefly saw earlier. So I think that's the best strategy for DS Cartel, because they don't have a lot of numbers. With that certain type of beacons, they will be able to defend, certain against a certain number of
Yep.
people.
Yes. And I think what I'm missing to the Escartel, um, the way they scout. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think they're lacking on scouts now, because on the previous matchups that they had, or last War of Empire, they have multiple scouts. They're taking advantage on those informations that they gathered, and once they gather those information, they're using it to counter the enemy as soon as they can. But right now, I think that's what's missing right now on the side of DS Cartel. Those scouts from time to time.
Yes. And if you do have a message for your guild, if you want to shout out your favorite guild, make sure to
Yep.
do comment it in the comment section. Uh, if you want to shout out a player, you can also do that as well. Or if you just want to say something to us, if you want to chat with us, you can
Yes.
do so. Just comment in the comment section. We're reading what you are typing. Of course, just just be nice.
Yeah, everyone is nice. Yeah, everyone is nice. So yeah. Okay. The question here is Dominari gonna wait? Are they gonna wait for the purple extension, or are they
Mhm.
gonna face DS Cartel head on a 1v1 match?
Mhm.
Okay, I think
All
DS
right.
Cartel is doing the best decision on this scenario. They just want to go in on that choke area, preventing Dominari to win on a 1v1 scenario.
Yes. So, like, I think nonsense doesn't really have an emblem right now.
I mean,
So that's why it's hard
yeah,
to see.
you know,
Hard to see. Maybe
nonsense.
it's
They've
part
been,
of their strategy, though.
yes, I think that is actually part of their strategy. They've been changing multiple emblems from time to time, and sometimes
Mhm.
they're removing the emblem as well.
Yeah, but right now I'm not sure what Dominari is planning to do. Maybe they are just waiting for DS Cartel to push out.
Yeah.
and wait for the time being. But you know, I'm not really sure what they are planning. So they are going to push in. So they want to push in and deal
Okay, here
with
we go.
defenders currently in the castle. So let's see if their numbers are enough to deal with DS Cartel just defending
Again,
this castle.
yes.
I think they actually pushed in scouts earlier
Okay.
to deal with to check out what's happening or the defense inside.
Yes, and again, I think this cartel should be aware about the strategy of the Dominari. Dominari has a more firepower with their arcades and those rangers. They need to be careful on that one. If they want to survive on this push, they need to put those Numa on top of their damage dealers or those key players to support each other on this defense. And yeah, I think Dominari is trying to regroup now. Battle chants are up.
Mhm. All right, so Dominari is going to regroup outside the portal,
Yep.
and we have a shout out here from Jesse. Shout out to Fratres. A shout out to Fratres, IGN, and Miss Malagkit. All right,
Ooh. Oi.
and the Escartel has defense, decent defense set up right now.
I think that's the first time that we saw this cartel putting a Brokis there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because in the
Uh,
previous.
Yeah, I think yeah, this is the first time that we
Yeah.
saw the Escartel actually use that Rocky's Veil to defend their castle because usually they're in a like a GVG style defense
Yep.
wherein they don't want that portal defense. Um, they just want to deal with their opponents.
Yes.
Outside the castle or outside or away from the portals. But with that Rocky's Veil set up in that portal, the only way for you to deal with your opponents there is that you need to eliminate
Or at least you need to tap
the
that player who's casting that to
yeah
disrupt the casting.
you need to eliminate the ensemble people or the
Yep.
wonder and what do you call this, the bard.
The minstrel. You mean? Yeah.
The minstrel,
Yeah,
the
minstrel.
minstrel and
Minstrel
wanderer
in
there.
Wanderer. Yeah.
So
Okay.
Dominari just waiting in though.
Okay, what's your call here, James? Is Dominari gonna take this defense, or this cartel will be successful or in their hold here?
Well,
It's gonna be a
based
tough
on
one. Yeah, it's gonna be a
based on
tough
my
one.
experience in watching these fights, the numbers of Dominari isn't enough to deal
Yeah.
with the Cartel if they have their members set up in that portal. But if some of their members are out, just scouting around, just trying to play by themselves, I'm pretty sure they won't be able to defend this. But
Okay, here
based
we
on what
go.
I'm seeing right now, this is going to be hard for Dominari to push in. But we can actually see miracles later on because actually
Oh,
Rockysville actually
it's still up.
went out for a little bit. It went out for a little bit, but because of the defense set up here by DS Cartel, like what I mentioned earlier, it's hard for Dominari to push in with that number. But Suicidal Destruction will go out, and
Wow.
look at that damage! Not the Suicidal Destruction, Dominari.
Okay.
Dominari was able to cast that
DS
Suicidal
Cartel has still
Destruction.
numbers.
That's why Dominari is
They
going
can
to
still fight
push
back on
in.
this one.
Yeah, I think this cartel will be able to fight back on this one because they can use that flag warp to go in. But Dominari is quick to push
Wow.
in right now. But DS Cartel already has that defense.
Okay,
set up.
let's check.
They need to defend this portal.
They need to
Dragon's
reestablish.
Breath will come out on both sides. They have that Numa. They have a lot of skills
Oh!
right here. But DS Cartel has a lot of numbers right now compared to Dominari inside that portal. But you can actually check out the portal right now. Dominari is quick into the grouping here. They have that land protector set up in that spot. DS Cartel doesn't want to push
Oh,
in,
did you try to
push out
reestablish?
just yet.
Trying
But
to push
they are
out?
going to push out
Dragon's Breath?
They want to push out Dominari right now. DS Cartel
Pushing
is
now?
trying to, but that Arrow Storm just eliminating a lot of DS Cartel members, while Dominari just went in and regrouped. It will try
Whirlwind
to
now,
eliminate
passing.
DS Cartel right here and there. The numbers of Dominari are hard to deal with. They are quick to regroup, and DS Cartel is in trouble.
Wow. Oh, I think DS Cartel has they still have numbers on this one, but again, Dominari is just swarming in with their numbers. But again, I think DS Cartel has the portal. They can still backfire on the backlane of Dominari. They just need to regroup and hold their ground in order for them to do a quick counter push on this one. But let's check if they have a defense. I think the DS Cartel is kind of done on this.
Yeah, but because the flag war for
Yeah.
this is where Dominari is holding right now. So
Yeah.
if Dominari actually pushes in this castle, they can take this for themselves. But I'm not sure if they want that. Maybe they want to wait a little bit longer to eliminate some of DS Cartel members, or because DS Cartel, if they are quick into regrouping, or they pushed out immediately
Yeah.
when they regrouped here in the flag warp, they will be able to push out Dominari. They will be able to eliminate the members of Dominari just roaming in that that this third
Yes.
area of this castle. But Dominari got the last laugh here in their offense, because they were quick in regrouping here in the third portal, while DS Cartel is just uh, setting up their defense once again.
Yes, I think that mechanic is the MVP for this match. Having that massive explosion on the stack of the ground control players on the side of DS Cartel, that actually gave a way for their troops to go in and hit the backlane easily. So
Yes.
kudos to that mechanic on DS on Dominari.
Yes, actually, that's suicidal destruction. Uh, you know, eliminated, I think, 5 or 6
Yes.
members
And those
from
five
DS
players are very
Cartel.
crucial on the side of DS Cartel. They're actually the key players in front of that portal. And those players are actually defending or trying to dispel or to take down those people who try to pass that Roseville. Yeah, good execution. They're
And
coming from that mechanic.
yes, and DS Cartel just wants to regroup here at the entrance. Again, they don't have a lot of numbers to deal with Dominari. But, if that mechanic didn't actually,
Yeah. Yep.
eliminate
If
those
that,
six
yeah,
members from DS Cartel, they will be able to defend
they
that
can
castle.
sustain that. Definitely,
Yeah,
they can sustain that.
yeah,
Um,
that mechanic was the MVP right there.
Yes, yes. I think that mechanic managed to take down Rangers, Suras, Sorcerer. Because that Sorcerer on the side of the Cartel is the one who's casting the vacuum, preventing those enemies to push through. So, good job on the side of Dominari. Again, guys, for that um, suicide, guys, there's a 5 minute cooldown. So, if Dominari wants to engage, they need to wait for a 5 minute cooldown to take down the Cartel if they're gonna use that suicide strategy again.
Mhm. But using that suicidal destruction will remove your Mado gear.
Yeah.
And if you remove that Mado gear, you're only left with certain skills that you can use. If you are a Mado gear build mechanic.
Yeah.
But I like the way that Dominari actually pushed in. They were patient. They didn't push in all of their members at the same time to get eliminated
Yes.
by the defenders. Of course, they are aware that there is a Rocky's Veil in that portal. That's why they waited for the opportunity to strike.
Yes.
And look at their numbers. I think only a few number of players, maybe around half of their guild went in
Yes.
and just tried to distract them, and the other half went in after that Rocky's Veil gets eliminated, or after that Rocky's Veil is gone.
Yes.
And
I
there
agree.
was a brief moment actually that Rocky's Veil got what do you call this?
Got
Just got
interrupted.
recasted.
Yes, it got
Yeah, got
interrupted for.
interrupted and got recasted. And because of that, I gave a quick window for um, Dominari to cast a certain types of skills to just deal damage
Yes.
against those players at the back lane.
Yep, I agree on that one, James. And again, having that like I think it's a like a 2 second window on the side of Dominari, and I really like what Dominari did there. I think everything is on their plan, right? That these players are gonna go and will take the first damage, and the second group will actually sustain, and the third group will just overrun the entire forces of the Escartel's front line. And that
Oh,
mechanic having that
Adonis?
Mado. Oh, okay. I think
Is that
Adonis is here.
Adonis?
Yeah, Adonis.
Oh, so Adonis Guild is going to be here as well. So sorry about that. Sorry about calling you there.
Yeah, that's
But,
okay.
you
Yeah.
know, said here by John Ray, I think this is the ninth War of Imperium session, if I counted it correctly. So yeah, I think this is the ninth. Um, yeah, that suicidal destruction is really the key to
Yes.
eliminating. I agree with you
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
And shout out from DS Cartel right here, coming from Jan Lawrence.
Okay. And,
All
and
right.
and I just want to point out as well. We are seeing these two guilds. These two
Mm-hmm.
guilds has different style of approaching the fights. We have the Escartel. They have the body relock curse circle strategy. Well, on the other hand, or on the other guild, Dominario, they have the Mado suicidal push strategy. So this guild has, they have the separate identity in terms of strategy. So I'm very excited on their clashes on the open field fight. So I think it's gonna happen now. Dominari is pushing in
Yes.
with the Land Protector. Land Protector now is trying to put on the side of DS Cartel, and DS Cartel failed to sustain the damage on the side of failed to sustain the damage, and I think DS Cartel got annihilated on that push by
Yes.
Dominari.
And what happened there was that most of the damage from Dominari is coming from the Rangers and Rune Knights.
Yep.
And because of that, this cartel has that land protector set up earlier. They can't cast that Numa if that they have that land protector.
Yes.
So they won't be able to sustain damage coming from those Rune Knights and Rangers, because Arrow Storms and Dragon's Breath will deal a lot of damage, especially long range physical attacks. And earlier I saw one of their Suras from Dominari was
Yeah.
trying to go in, but I think he overextended from
Yeah.
their stack.
That's actually
That's
the
why he got eliminated really, really quickly right there.
That's actually one of the disadvantage of having a body relic circle. Once you got the get pin target on that guild, it's like a suicide. You're just gonna die instantly. So you need to time
Yes.
perfectly your body relic curse circle, and I think one of the best I think that strategy is very effective on the side of Dominari for the reason of they have multiple rune knights stacked in one area. So as you can see right now on our screen, most of the rune knights is stacked on one area on the upper side of this wall. So if you can land a perfect curse circle there, basically the offense of Dominari is technically disabled. Yeah. So they need to be careful in this, because having that Suras going in curse circle, they can actually eliminate the offense capability of their of Dominari's offense right away.
Yes, but it's going to be hard to do so because, again, you won't have that. You need to have rather that backline set up to
Yes.
be able to deal damage when you cast that curse circle.
Yep.
And it's like you're also doing a suicide mission because you want to go in and cast that curse circle. You need to be really tanky for you to be able to do so.
Yes.
But if you are going to get punished with a lot of skills, you are good as good as gone. Yeah. You're,
Yes.
you're, you're, you're going to be gone really quick. You're going to go down really quick.
Yes.
And that's why if you are playing as a Sura, I think the best way for you to actually capitalize on every situation is that you need to remember to not overextend from the range of your teammates, of your
Yes.
guild. Because if you do overextend, your teammates won't be able to support you. But right now,
Okay.
Dominari is going to push in on
Oh,
GS Cartel.
Dominari.
But look at the damage coming from GS Cartel right there. Just eliminating some of the members of Dominari. But the sheer numbers again of Dominari, like what we are mentioning earlier on, are too much to handle for DS Cartel because they have a lot of members. They have a lot of key players in their guild that play a huge role into dealing with a lot of into dealing a lot of damage against their opponents.
Yes. And I think this is one of the scariest thing about Dominari. Once they got their momentum up and running, they're technically they're unstoppable. So
Mhm.
I think having this quick momentum on the side of Dominari, I think they can win every fight on this War of Imperium. So I think
Mhm.
DS Cartel needs to strategize again on how to take this guild head on. Again, they need to deal with the Mado suicide, and they need to deal with those Dragon's Breath and multiple Numas or counter Numas on their side as well. So they need to be careful and re-strategize how to approach Dominari on
Yes.
a head on fight.
Yes, and from what I saw in the feed earlier, I think Aftershock was is also taking castles, and I'm doing my own scouting as well.
Yep.
Fratres is going to hold different castle right now. They don't want to deal with any guild. I think currently that's why they are, at a different spot right now
Yep.
because they don't have a lot of numbers currently, in their guild. But the difference between these players right there or the guilds is that they know what they are capable of.
Yes.
So if they don't have a lot of numbers currently, they are not going to push those fights that they know they won't be able to win.
Yes. I
So
agree.
that's why strategic planning is important in every guild. Of course, all the guilds right here they have their own commanders, and I'm pretty sure they are just planning what to do next in
Yes.
every situation.
Okay. The hardest job here in this War of Imperium is commanding or shot doing a shot call in every fight, because again you're
Mhm.
still managing the morale of your guild, you're still managing the situation, you're still managing your lineup versus the opponent's lineup, how to counter
Mhm.
it, and how to deal certain locations. Like for example, an open field GVG type map like this one, or an L Chuk area. So I think having these two commanders on the side of Dominari and DS Cartel, these two commanders are doing their best on execution and their efforts to
Mhm.
bring us a good fight.
Yes. And look at the strategy right now of this cartel. They changed from using that land protector into having two safety walls and Numas up for their side. So right now, Dominari wants to be quick in pushing out and pushing in on
Yep.
rather on the DS cartel. And because of their quick push, DS cartel wasn't ready. I think for a time being, that's why Dominari was able to actually eliminate them very, very quickly right there.
Yes, I agree. I
So
think
I think you need to be ready every time.
yes. I think what do you call this? Dominari is doing a fast-paced strategy on their push,
Mhm.
right? I think they're just trying to prevent the Cartel to make any reaction on their movement, having those quick push, because again you're gonna guess if they're gonna use these mechanics to do suicides, right? So I think that's one of the dilemmas right now on the side of the Cartel. I think they're thinking too much if the mechanics or those battles will go in onto their stack and explode.
Mhm.
So I think those things are giving them a hard time to decide which one to react, or or to push.
Yes. And of course, Dominari has a lot of numbers. And I saw Adonis just taking Fat Grids earlier, or the middle castle in Frontera.
Yep.
So they are there. Aftershock are taking their own castles as well. And last night, I'm not sure, really sure where they are right now. I think most of the guilds right now are scattered. They want to occupy different castles for the time being. Only DS Cartel is trying to go for a GVG fight against
Yes.
Dominari for now. But I think DS Cartel will go to a different castle. Maybe
Yes.
because Dominari is really hard to handle right now because of their numbers. I'm
Yes.
not really sure. So depending on their strategy, if they actually take a castle and defend that, if they do a portal defense, they will be able to defend their spot very, very, you know, what do you call this? They will be able to defend their spot
Mm-hmm.
very nicely because they can set up their Rocky's Veil,
Yep.
and they can be confident in their defense because they are sure that no one will be able to enter from behind or attack them from behind.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the advantage because other guilds or their opponents won't be able to see their defense.
Yes.
So I think all they need to do is to attack a castle, defend that castle with all their might, and maybe set up a pretty good defense.
Yes. I agree on that one, James. They need to take those certain spot advantages, like uh, like a 7 cell choke area, yeah, to prevent those rush coming from Dominari. And right now, I
Right.
think Adonis is defending inside, and Diaz Cartel is trying to contest the defense of Adonis. So let's go ahead and check if Adonis can hold this Imperium versus Diaz
As both
Cartel.
Suras, actually, both Suras of DS Cartel went in, maybe just trying to do a bit of
Yeah,
scouting right
yeah,
there.
they're just trying. They've been
Not
poking.
really sure about the numbers of Adonis right now currently, but they are doing their own scouting as well, as you can see right there. But I think DS Cartel is just going to try and regroup right now before actually
Oh!
dealing damage.
Oh!
Oh, that curse circle plus suicidal destruction though.
Oh!
Oh my goodness. So they actually timed that right. They timed
That's a
that very,
perfect.
very quickly. That was a quick curse circle plus suicidal destruction combo.
Wow!
And because DS Cartel wasn't ready. They weren't ready at that time. They got eliminated very quickly.
Wow!
And only a few members of DS Cartel was left. So they need to regroup once again.
Wow!
And
And
that was caught on camera though. That was a nice combo
the,
coming from that mechanic and
Sura.
what he calls mechanic and Sura.
But again, the Mado has a 5 minute cooldown, so they need to have another mechanic to sub on that
Yeah, I
combo.
think if you have a lot of numbers in your guild, maybe
Yep.
you can take turns using that suicidal destruction though. But anyway, since DS Cartel I think is going to regroup for now while Dominari wants to push in. Dominari actually noticed that DS Cartel and Adonis is here. Someone got trapped in the manhole. And yeah, three versus two members of
3v2?
Dominari right here.
Here we go.
But this is going to be it's a Royal Guard and Rune Knight
Vanishing point.
battle. And one member of Adonis is there. He's going to go in the battle as well. And they are just having that mounted fight right there.
Yeah.
And while they are doing so, of course, we want to mention one of our events here in the ongoing events here
Mm-hmm.
in ROGGH right now. Of course, we have our Monster Hunter event currently ongoing. So you need to seek out the Midgard Knight in major cities and complete the quests. Collect event tokens in exchange for exclusive Predator and Marauder equipment set. Event lasts until August 18, 2022. If you want to know more information about the event, you can visit our website, ro.gnjoy.asia.com, or join the ROGGH Discord. Quick
Yes.
links are in the pinned comment of the stream.
Yep. Ah.
Alright.
Wow, Adonis.
So, yeah, actually, that was a quick wipe coming from Adonis earlier.
Yep.
But right now, we need to actually check where the purple Dominari is because I haven't seen them for a long time. Maybe they are just at a different spot.
Yep.
They're at a different location, just chilling out there, and maybe making sure they have a castle occupied. We have Nemesis Armada here in Hohenschwangau. And Scarlet Palace, I'm not sure how many people are there or what guild or which guild is there right now. Kremhild is being occupied by Dominari. So, like what I mentioned earlier, the sheer numbers of Dominari is really hard to deal with because they have a lot of members to scout other castles,
Yep.
They have more members to, you know, uh, go for that offensive strategy. They have
Yes.
members to defend as well. So the numbers game, the numbers will play a huge role in every War of Imperium session.
Yes, I agree. Again, if they want to face those types of numbers, they need to have certain spot advantages. But again, it's really hard to pull off those perfect executions, especially we know for a fact Dominati, they have their tempo right now. They're very aggressive, and the coordination is, I think their coordination for today is on top, right? And
Yes.
I think Last Nightmare and Diaz Cartel can contest Dominari, but again, the question is, um, are we gonna see Last Nightmare contesting Dominari tonight? That's the
Yeah, actually,
question.
Last Nightmare are pretty quiet right now. But as what I can see from the capture feed, we have Aftershock right there, Pirates, Goons, Steel Wolves, and
Mm,
Nemesis Armada just capturing different castles. Opus Dei right now just captured one. So they're all of them are just trying to occupy different castles for the time being. No one defending. I think only a few number of people defending certain different castles right now. Like Fratres just defending a castle for now at an Aldebaran castle, and Hohon Chuanggo just got
oh,
captured. While other spots, of course, a lot of people are going to be at different castles for the time being, since we only have around 28 minutes remaining in our War of Imperium
yes,
session. Or sorry, rather 38 minutes. 38
38.
minutes remaining. All right. So e-call is disabled for in War of Imperium for now. Shout out to Goon, said Kimberly. And if you're lagging right now, I'm not really sure if other players are lagging as well. Maybe there are certain disruptions in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So the internet concerns. Things happen. These happen. Sometimes your internet can cause problems, which you will experience a lot of lag.
Yes, I agree. Okay, let me
Mhm.
just go and find them.
Yes, and this is only for PC Dexter. So this is not really available for phone, but you can check out the website and Discord though on your phone. So
Yep.
yeah, so you can use it in your phone, just Discord and the website though. And yeah, while we are actually just trying to scout where the players are at right now, I want to talk about the the updates here in the server.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we have that old card album update,
Oh yeah.
and there are 19 new cards in the old card album, including
Mm.
the co-string card. Yes,
Ah.
including the Ghost Ring card. So, actually, and I forgot which day it is, but there was a question raised in our I think that was a um what is it? It's a Discord talk.
Yeah.
They talked about that was
Toffee
last
talk. Is
Thursday.
that a toffee talk?
Yeah, I think it was a trophy talk last Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I think someone mentioned about the how effective if is ghosting card still, of
Mm-hmm.
course, in renewal. I think my thoughts on that is there are certain skills that are still neutral, like of course Gates of Hell, um, Dragon's Breath. I think is pseudo elemental, so I part ghost,
Mm-hmm.
so you will be able to take much more damage for if you have that ghosting card. Certain neutral type attacks, of course, if your skills don't have elements, or if your equipment doesn't or weapon doesn't have elements currently,
Mm-hmm.
ghosting card is still effective. Against dealing against neutral type of attacks.
Yes.
All right. And it's still effective in certain situations, but I think if you have that ghosting card, ghosting card is still a ghosting card. Dominari actually pushed in on Fratres right now, and this is difficult for Fratres because they don't have a lot of numbers. Dominari is just, you know, purely dominating, sheer
Yes.
dominating in numbers right now, and it's difficult for other guilds to defend this. I'm not really sure where Last Nightmare is right now. Some of them just grouped earlier in Kremhild. No,
Mm-hmm.
rather Fadgrid Castle. That's why we briefly saw them, but they weren't in full numbers.
Yes.
Maybe around 20 numbers for 20 guild members for Last Nightmare currently online. I'm not sure if we will see them later on or if we can actually spot them at different castles. But you know, the Nemesis Armada actually broke an Emperium right there, and yeah, guilds are just, you know, just trying to break different Emperiums. No one really going for that GVG action right now. Nonsense is going to be there in Kremhild Castle. I think Dominari is looking for castles with defenders in
Yes.
it.
Yep.
So because they want to have that taste of action and they want to beat their opposing guilds.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, they're actually on fire right now.
Mm-hmm.
Having multiple wins with the Cartel, right? And they managed to wipe Arsenal and Last Nightmare earlier. So I think
Yeah, and
most of the fights that they had have today, they haven't lost any clashes so
yeah,
far.
and speaking of Arsenal, I don't know where they are at. So yeah, well, we are just trying to find out where everyone is right now. I want to go back into talking about the updates
Mm-hmm.
currently. So we also have our Isla Dungeon Floor 6
Oh.
update. So MVP Kraken and the Montes are available and requires a premium bug to access. So for more
Mm-hmm.
information about, for more information about this, you can visit the website r.ginjo.asia.com, or better yet, join the ROGGH Discord
Yep.
to actually talk about this. Because you can talk about this with your fellow players in Discord.
Yep.
And everyone is pretty active there um, in different chats. Of course, we have our, uh, what they call this, cert, what do you call this, class discussions. We
Yes.
have class discussions in Discord as well. So if you want to talk about your class, if you want to know more information about your current your current class that you're, or the class that you're interested in, the best equipment for your class, or what skills do you need to put in, and you know, a lot of players in the community can help you.
Definitely. And okay, so I'm actually checking Balder right now. Right?
Yes. And yeah, of course, we still do have our level up box. And again, this is a permanent feature here in ROGGH.
Mm-hmm.
Because upon creating a new character, a new item, new user box will automatically appear in your inventory. Opening the box will grant you various consumables and equipment. For every 10 levels achieved until level 90, you can open a new box and receive more items.
Yep.
Alright, and the Shadow Egg is
Oh.
now available. So last rotation we have that demonic egg. Right now it's the Shadow Egg, and here's your chance to grab hold of all the latest items in game. Alright.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of in-game events going on. We mentioned we also have an event going event coming to Singapore.
Yes. Yes.
It's a SG community event, Singapore community event. ROGGH is going to be there. It's going to be on the 20th of August.
Yep.
All right, SG community event. So you can come meet our CM Miko and fellow players there. All right. So Dominari is just going around, just capturing different
Yeah,
castles.
I think.
That's from what I've seen here.
Yes, I think you're right, James. I think they're just trying to scout out the Cartel and just they're just gonna charge in and take the castle out of the hands of the Cartel.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And you know, certain castle doesn't have defenders because I think some of them are just stacked up at different spots,
Yep.
or the castles have been changing owners frequently. Some of the castles get the Imperiums get broken every
Mm-hmm.
time. We can see goons here. They have a rune knight just
Ooh.
going in. Maybe try and what do you call this? Break this Imperium,
Mm-hmm.
and that wizard just hid from that rune knight, and just I don't want to deal with you right now.
Okay,
I don't
let's.
want to deal with you right now. So
Okay.
let's see on what this warlock rather this warlock will
Yep.
do against this rune knight. Just trying to use that hide to maybe time it right and deal with that rune knight. All right, so
Uh,
this is going to be one versus one. So he's just trying to hide right there, and I think they're going to be in what do you call this Kremhild again. Maybe we'll have people in Kremhild again, or in Fadgrid in the middle of Frontera. And for our viewers as well, right now, I do want to remind you that we are giving away codes which you can redeem for certain items and rewards. All you need to do is to redeem the code shown in the lower right of
mm-hmm.
our screen, right there, right there, lower right portion of the screen. So make sure to do check it out. Again, the codes are one-time use only. First one to redeem the code will be able to get those rewards. You can claim them from in-game in your Rodex. All right. And Arsenal is here actually defending Fadgrid.
Yes, they have good numbers on this
Yeah, they have
castle.
decent numbers though. I think they got their ensemble team in.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they are going to defend that with that classical pluck or that Rocky's Veil to actually stop the opponent from their tracks. Because if Rocky's Veil got casted on the floor again for our players here or not that familiar
Oh,
with
Dawn
Ragnarok,
is. Yeah.
if you have that classical pluck or Rocky's Veil on your if you're stepping on the that area affected by that ensemble, you won't be able to cast skills. All right, that's why it's pretty dangerous if you have that Rocky's Veil casted in your feet.
Yep.
All right. Well, Donis is going to hold a different castle as well. I think this is time for our guilds to hold
Yes.
certain castles right now because we only do have 27 minutes left remaining in our War of Imperium session. So I think this is the best time for our guilds to uh, you know just defend their own castles. Maybe if they fancy a castle later on, maybe they can go in for a push. But for now, we are seeing guilds just trying to defend
Yes.
different castles right now. Nonsense. I'm not sure where they are defending, but they are conquering different castles as well. Um, Kremhild has been really hot for now. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are usually here, and they are just you know dealing with each other. And it's like the pace of the War of Imperium is kind of slowing down, of course, since we only have a few minutes remaining.
Yes, and regarding the momentum of the Escarted, I think they're just trying to spread out as much as they can, right? For the
Mhm.
meantime. And I think they're trying to catch Dominari off guard. As you can see, Dominari has been doing a split push as well. I think
Mhm.
their forces got divided into two. And I think this cartel is trying to catch that first group, then take the second group. So I think
Yes.
this is a strategy that they're trying to do, and that's actually good. They need to break that momentum on the side of Dominari and prevent them on winning. Again, this is not only about winning fights, but also this the game has its um, fights in terms of their morale of their members and all. So they need to be careful on that as well.
Yes. And actually, this is the pride of your guild on the line as well. Of
Yes.
course, our guilds want to prove something to the viewers and of course to the other players in the game. They want to prove that they can do it. They are competitive. they will be able to deal with certain types of guilds and the number of opponents. So it's also a pride battle for these guilds, of course, if they want to capture a castle, being defended by a certain guild.
Yes. And
All
especially,
right.
we're talking about DS Cartel versus Dominari. I think these two guilds are really hot right now. Previous
I'm not
session.
really sure if they have bad blood though. I'm not,
Ooh.
I'm not really sure if they have bad blood. Maybe they just want to go in and have a GVG battle against one
Yeah.
another. Or if they just want to eliminate DS Cartel right there, or DS Cartel just wants to eliminate Dominari. So we're not really sure what's happening. But you know, um, last Nightmare, we haven't seen their full potential like what we saw in the last War of Imperium session stream. Um, but last Nightmare, they have a lot of numbers usually. They
Yes.
have those key players in their current roster
Mm-hmm.
that if they are actually they're kind of similar to in the strategy of how DS Cartel does things,
Yep.
but in the larger scale. They use those suras to go in and cast that curse circle, and those backline or their damage dealers
Yep.
need to eliminate their opponents.
I
And
agree on.
yeah, DS card actually rather Last Nightmare is pretty good when it comes to strategizing because I've mentioned this in our last stream. They are good in re-strategizing because they don't lose an offense the second time around.
Yes. I agree.
So the first offense, they might not make it past the defense, but in their second attack, they usually come out on top. They usually eliminate the defenders and succeed into attacking that castle on the second time.
Yes, I agree. And again, they're very good on adjusting certain scenarios as well, right? And hoping that okay, that's a
Ooh.
good trade on on that Arrow Storm.
Yeah,
Wow.
and
Why? Yeah. Again, yeah. But again, going back, last Nightmare has the numbers. I think they can actually take
mhm.
a head-on fight versus the red one. I think only last Nightmare can take Red Dominari on a head-on match. We saw that on their GVG. They managed to snatch one win out of the three matches, and hopefully they can, on our next session maybe they can actually have a full regroup, and maybe we can see a good fight again coming from those two Titan guilds that we have on our server.
Yes, and of course, since it's going to be a Saturday, for sure a lot of people are going to
Yeah.
be there, and our guilds are just conquering different castles right now.
Mhm.
Like Secret Palace has been conquered by Last Nightmare. Fratres, Advitam, they have decent numbers right now, around 20 or 25 players, I think, for Fratres.
Yeah.
Um, like what we saw earlier, they are just defending a castle, but they got pushed by Dominari. And I see a new guild here, Breathfriend. Actually, um, they don't have a lot of numbers. I haven't seen them with around more than four members for
Yeah.
Breathfriend. So they are like just trying to participate in Wars of Imperium. Maybe try their luck if they can hold the castle until the end of the session, though.
Yes.
And power of friendship. I just saw this right now. There's a power of friendship guild.
And
So I am curious of what the emblem is.
yes. And
Power of friendship.
it's actually it's actually good to have like multiple castles, right, on War of Imperium. It gives the
Mhm,
opportunity to the small guilds to participate and own a castle as well, and to get
mhm,
those economy up or get those rewards. Again, we're talking about getting or the updated old card album. So some of the castles that offers those called old card album drops is mostly, I think, that's Payon. So if they can capitalize on capping a Payon, then get a guild dungeon, and they can do the cold old card album draw. Maybe they can go get a mini boss card or a decent card to use in War of Imperium.
Yeah, as long as the monster that they attack, maybe they
Yes,
can get a lot of old card albums
yes.
right there. But since we're still talking about updates right here, I do want to mention that we have our Kafra Point event or KP event.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's really good to pair it up with the current Shadow Egg. If you want to grab hold of all the latest items in game. There, we also have a Kafra Point event or KP event.
TP
If
event,
you
yeah.
consume at 1,500 Kafra points or KP to 36,000 Kafra points during the event period to receive equipments and costumes.
Wow.
Special, super cute doll hat, which gives Dex plus 2, Int plus 2, Flee minus 2, max HP bonus, and max SP bonus. And you're able to cast Magnificat in a
Oh,
super cute doll hat. All
that's
right.
actually
So
nice
the
item.
event period for that Kafra Point event is from the 21st of July to the 27th of July. So it's only until tomorrow, this Kafra Point consumption event. And I think if you want to know more details about this event, you need to visit our website, ro.gnjoy.asia.com, or visit the ROGGH Discord. The links can be found in the pinned comment of the stream.
Yep.
And yep, to pair that up, we do have our Razer Gold July event. So your from July 1 to July 31, 2022, 11:59 p.m. GMT plus 8, you can recharge your G Enjoy account via Razer Gold Wallet and get some in-game items such as Mystic Powders, Tears of Blessing, Unlimited Flying Box, Battle Manual, Job Manual, and Analyze Eye Lower for free. And players will be able to receive a 5% bonus to Razer Gold with a minimum recharge while stocks last. And there's also a top spender promotion going, and the top spender will be able to receive a Razer Huntsman
Oh
V2
wow.
clicky optical switch. Second and third top spender will receive a Black Shark V2, and the fourth to 10th top spender will receive a $10 Razer Gold voucher. Again, the promotions and the events can be seen in our website ro.gnjoy.asia.com and in our Discord, in our ROGGH Discord.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And yeah, we do have some players commenting here. Um, shout out to RKM Gaming, said Jesse. All right.
Oh, shout out, shout out. Okay, this is the
And
pink dominant.
actually, I like what Jesse just said here. We can dissect common strats for GVG because the details that we share are very detailed, and we can do that so that more players will participate in the War of Imperium, and it will be much more exciting. All right.
Yes.
So I translated. I read it slowly to translate it perfectly. All
The
right.
James translation.
Yeah, I don't want to translate that wrong. So I need to read it slowly and translate that as
Yes.
I read it.
Yes, I agree on that one because again, we have multiple classes right now that's available in the game. It's a matter of selecting the perfect class for your team. Again, if you want to go for those solo class, I think the Sura is gonna be perfect on that one. But again, right now Suras can be on the utility side. They can actually be on the support side as well. And most of the Suras right now, on the previous patches, I think the Sura is more on the offensive. But this time, most of the guilds are using it for utility uh, purposes, like securing multiple targets, um, locking key players in a five by five cell, right? And they can actually support by putting Yuma from time to time, and they
Yes.
can actually distract Scout as well. And all of the classes right now are very versatile. And again, it's a matter of composition, big or small. Having a perfect composition can actually take down big numbers. We saw that from the guilds that we have here in ROGGH. And I hope that if you're a brand new player, you can actually enjoy the the classes that's available, and the same time the guilds that's hiring from time to time here in our server. Yeah.
Uh, I think the term that we can use more instead of hiring is recruiting.
Oh, recruiting. I mean, hiring.
they,
It's like a
they are
mercenary. Sorry, sorry.
they are
I'm actually
recruiting.
used for the term of mercenaries, like joining in the guild. Yeah, sorry, sorry.
Yeah, they are recruiting members for
Yeah.
the time being. So if you want to actually, look for a guild, you can. We have a certain section in our ROGGH
Yeah.
Discord for that as well. All right. And yeah, the guilds are just playing it safe right now, just defending certain castles,
Hmm.
and they don't want to spend that much consumables. They don't want to be on the offensive for a time being unless you are getting pushed or you are eager to take a certain
Yes.
castle, maybe like Scarlet Palace for the Emblem of the Sun God, because that was a hot castle for a long time.
Yeah.
For a lot of the sessions here in War of Imperium.
Yeah. And it's actually, yeah, I agree, James. It's actually wise to do a like to have a quick to take a quick break. Again,
Mm-hmm.
we still have like Saturday Clash, Saturday War of Imperium. They can actually just go in and do an all-out clash with the guilds that they desired. And currently, I think we saw a pretty good session. We saw a good fight. We saw the Cartel taking multiple guilds. Dominari
Yes.
is not backing down, showing everyone that hey, again we're Dominari, we're here. You know, if we cannot take you in one guild, we're gonna take you in two guild, and if we cannot take you in two guilds, we're gonna take you in a three guild push. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because again, the numbers will play a huge role
Mhm.
in every War of Imperium session, and I can't mention that enough because, you have more numbers, you can conquer more castles.
Yeah.
Because you can allocate your members into defending or attacking certain type of castle. And if you are eager to really just hold a castle, you have more members to you can have more versa what do you call this you have more flexibility, rather you have more
Flexibility.
flexibility in your guild because you can change your roster from time to time,
Yes.
given that you have certain types of characters.
Yes.
And yeah, and since we only have like 12 minutes remaining in our War of Imperium session, guilds are just going to try and defend certain areas like what Arsenal is doing here in Skogel Castle. Dominari in this castle as well. I can see different castles being occupied by
Mhm.
certain people. Dominari just defending some Geffen and Pion castles as well. So, like Dominari, from my own scouting, I can see that they are just, uh, you know, allocating their members into
Yes.
defense.
Again,
So they have a yeah.
yeah, and again, James, they actually burnt a lot of supplies earlier. They managed to chase down multiple guilds, try to contest multiple castles, and
Mm.
those contests requires a bit of supplies. And I think it's actually practical to recap or cap multiple castles to get those extra zeni or extra supplies back to the guild.
Mm.
So yeah, I think it's a perfect call for the guild to get the castles again.
Yes, and again, MG, we do
Mm.
share codes every now and then. Of course, you need to stay updated. The codes are being presented here at the lower right portion of the screen. So make sure to do check it out. The codes change every now and then. So the first one to redeem the code will be able to get the rewards. So what are the rewards in the code? You can get battle manuals, job manuals, blessing scrolls, agi scrolls, mystic powders, and pierce blessing, which you can use in your leveling experience or maybe in War of Imperium. If you want to waste a battle manual, let's say in while you are participating in War of Imperium, because why not? Maybe you have a lot of battle manuals currently,
Yeah.
and or if you want to catch up on your levels, you can use those battle manuals. especially here in ROGGH, we do have XP bonuses every now and then.
Yes.
Um, it's usually every weekend though. So it's usually every weekend we have that level up bonuses, and still a lot of players are you know just trying to catch up. So maybe this their opportunity to catch up, of course, with those freebies
Yes.
given away by redeeming those codes. But you need to be quick. You need to be quick in redeeming your codes. You need to be the first one to do so to
Yes.
be able to redeem those prizes.
Yes. And again, you can actually use that if just in case if you want to re-roll a class, maybe, right, James? If you
Yeah,
want to go for a mechanic, why not, right? So
yeah, because this is the best opportunity for guilds to test out their current roster. If their current roster isn't working, especially for GVG, for example, if they want to have a GVG battle against other guilds, and they found out that their roster isn't really on par with
yeah,
different guilds. Maybe they can change up maybe a warlock.
yeah,
Maybe they need more rangers in. Maybe they don't need a lot of rangers. Maybe they can change it into having those sorcerers, or
yes,
maybe they need more supports. They can use more arc. They need archbishops, or they need a mechanic to have that suicidal destruction, or maybe they need the genetic to cast that mandragora howling to support them in every battle, because every class has a different job to do.
yes,
Like for guillotine cross, you can pick off certain key players.
yep,
Like Sura, if you are a damage Sura, you can pick off certain type of key players of the opposing guilds,
yes,
because you can cast that Gate of Hell, and you can use that Guillotine Fist, which is still the highest damage skill that in Ragnarok.
yeah,
I think it's still the highest damage skill in RO and ROGGH.
yes,
And if you want to pick off a player, a certain key player in the opposing guild, you can play as Asura.
yes,
Or if you
and
want to cause mayhem, you can go with other classes.
yes, and this is actually what I like about the guilds that we have right now. They are actually showing a high level of GVG technicalities on our stream, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they've been using or utilizing different classes from time to time. Um,
Yes.
we saw Dominari last time. Their main focus is the long range strategy, which is the Rune Knights, the Rangers, Dragon Breath, Arrow Storm meta. But right
Mm.
now, we saw them using a mechanic, multiple mechanics, destroying the front line of a guild in a snap, technically, right?
Yes.
So if you're just gonna check the flexibility, the you know it's actually genius on the side of those of these guilds
Ooh.
having a wow, having a adjustment from time to time, or every War of Imperium, this is the meta, we're gonna do it, we're gonna try to maximize this class, the ranger. Okay, they can counter the ranger, we're gonna switch to mechanic strategy. So
Mm.
it's really nice to have these guilds that's very brilliant on showing what which class to do or which class to use on certain War of Imperium, and the
Mm.
adjustment in every meta that we have here in ROGGH.
Yes, and we do have players right now in the chat just wants to shout out their guilds, like Primrose Scarlet right here. Shout out to Goons, Gabriel. Uh, didn't actually redeem the code on time because his account timed out on the website for AFK. Oh, how unlucky, Gabriel. And yeah, actually, when the code changes every now and then on the stream, so make sure to stay updated. Just watch the stream. But that Arrow Storm with that Lex Eterna just eliminating that Royal Guard though.
Yeah.
And Arrow Storm, even on War of Imperium, is still dangerous because it has a huge AOE. It has
Yes.
a huge AOE damage, and with the current items in game, it can cause a lot of it can eliminate you very very quickly. Like
Mm-hmm.
that Gates of Hell, like what that Sura did. That Gates of Hell, just eliminated that Ranger very very quickly
Yes.
right there. And Tiger Cannon Gates of Hell, of
Ooh.
course, to cause more damage against your opponent. And they are just going to take this Emperium right here. And Last Nightmare in a two-man party because this castle doesn't have a lot of defenders. And Suras are still dangerous as damage
Mm-hmm.
dealers because they can still, cause heavy damage to single targets.
Exactly.
And, you know, uh, changing your guild's roster every now and then to deal with certain types of situations are, a part of the strategy of the guild.
Yes.
Because it's really hard to know what class you are lacking if you don't test it out in a GVG scenario.
Exactly.
In War of Imperium, maybe they can change their strategy, change up their lineup. Maybe they need to have more patience, like the offense of Dominari.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I mentioned earlier, they were patient into attacking because I think they only used half at first, then the other half to go in the same time that after the Rockiesville gets removed.
Yes. So
And I do want to mention also about Adonis. That cursed circle plus suicidal destruction. We
that
caught that
was,
on
yeah.
stream. It was
It was
sweet.
it's a it was really like a, it's like a snap that connected immediately, like a split
Mhm.
second curse circle, then explosion. Yeah,
Yes,
it
and
was a perfect combination.
yes, if you utilize certain classes in every situation, you'll be able to deal with your opponents perfectly.
Yes, I agree.
Like what we have right here, warlocks are really great for defending, especially if you have that minstrel in your lineup.
Yes,
Minstrels, on the other hand, we've seen most of them use those minstrels and wonders just for casting braggy, and
Braggies.
this
Yeah,
is what you call this.
I think this is for the
Uh,
SP.
yeah, this is for SP, but I need to remember what's called here in GGH.
Yeah, having this combo, I think this is a really a fast cast, quick defense coming from the warlock,
Yeah.
and spamming those meteor meteor storms on the entrance. Yep.
Yeah, and actually Arsenal is also defending um a certain castle right now in Frontera. Um so yeah, it's Gypsy's Kiss rather, Gypsy's Kiss. Yeah. All right. So it's called Gypsy's Kiss. That's for SP. All right. I need to do a quick search because I forgot what it's called. I forgot what it's called. I'm used to the other term which is service for you.
Yeah, yeah.
But our own name is Gypsy's Kiss. All right. And yeah, we only have a minute remaining left in our War of Imperium session. And our guilds just settled down. Maybe we'll see more action in the next session. But, guilds are just chilling right now, of course. Maybe they got tired of the events since this is just Tuesday. Maybe some of them are just catching up on levels. Not really sure what they are going to do at the time being. But looking at the Scarlet Palace right now, it got occupied by the cartel. Scarlet Palace again is one of the hottest castles in
Exactly.
every War of Imperium session because of the treasure chest. Maybe our next session will be different. Maybe we'll be having an update. Who knows? Just stay updated by following the ROGGH page, and you can join the ROGGH Discord as well for
Yes.
up to date announcements, and you'll know more
Yeah.
information about what's happening in game.
Yep.
And yeah, War of Imperium session has ended. Says here by Andrew Cortez, thanks for the 3 codes. So you are quick. you're quick into redeeming those codes.
Congrats, congrats.
Congratulations on redeeming those codes.
Yep. And
And yeah, again, MG, I do want to mention again about the
mm.
SG community event that's going
Oh
to
yeah.
happen on the 20th of August. So yeah, you heard it right because our GGH will be having a community event in Singapore on the 20th of August, and you can come meet our CM Miko and fellow players there. And of course, if you are interested into joining the event, you can I think message the our GGH page or contact any of the our CMs if you are interested in joining the event. All right,
Definitely, yeah. Okay.
and yeah,
Any final final thoughts in the for our session for today,
yeah.
James?
Actually, most players or most guilds right now, um, some of them are just testing out their current roster.
Yeah.
Some of them just recruiting some of their members, maybe trying to see where they are at right now.
Yeah.
Like what DS Cartel did. They have a lot of numbers right now compared to what how we saw them in their first appearance.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of numbers now. They have a lot of members in their guild. Dominari still a dominating guild. They have a lot of players.
I agree.
We haven't seen Last Nightmare for now for this session. So some of them are online. Maybe they don't have the full roster online right now. That's why they're just trying to occupy different spots. Or maybe they are at different castles, but we just haven't seen them.
Yes.
And Arsenal has a decent defense setup. Of course, they have decent numbers,
Mm-hmm.
as well as Fratres. And I think our guilds right now are still recruiting members for their guild.
Yes.
And if they recruit the certain type of members for their roster,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they can, they can utilize their current roster into dealing damage against heavy or large size guilds like Dominar and Last Nightmare. Maybe they can take 2 or 3 castles in the next session. So it really depends on how our guilds utilize their current number of players and roster.
Yes, I agree. For my prediction for the next War of Imperium, DS Cartel, I think if they want to take down that certain that huge numbers, they need to have like 3 mechanics. For me, I think
Mm.
the lineup that they have right now is not gonna work out versus the numbers of Dominari. Again, once you take down Dominari on first or maybe on the second push, on the third push, expect three guilds swarming in on your castle, right? So
Mm.
in order for them to prevent that, they need to have those mechanics up and running and coordinate that curse circle plus explosion or just a direct suicide on the stack of Dominari. Again, that's gonna be my
Yes.
prediction for the next War of Imperium. I'm not sure if the Cartel will make an adjustment, but definitely they're gonna need that. And for the rest of the guilds, I think they did well. Adonis again. I think what I like about them is they're taking advantage of those big fights, cap, and on their side they just cap multiple guilds, use the economy maybe on their side to gain more items, plus maybe help the new players on the War of Imperium scene.
Mhm.
And for your last nightmare, yes, I'm hoping that we can see them this coming Saturday for the War of Imperium session. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's for
and
my
things might be different. Maybe some mechanics will change, but we'll know if there are changes to be made, of course. And who knows? Who knows if some updates can be made. But War of Imperium, a lot of players are just eager to get those items in our different castles, and just this is the way for our guilds to test their own strength in every
yes.
situation.
I agree.
And yeah, I like how Dominari just proving they are the dominant guild right now,
Yes.
especially with their numbers and strategy. And I like how they are just just eager to have a GVG battle against other guilds.
Yes.
And yeah, that's going to be it for today's session. And hope we'll see more of our
Definitely.
War of Emperium session the next session and Saturday, because the schedule for War of Emperium is every Saturday and Tuesday, 9 to 11 p.m. GMT +8.
Yep.
And a quick read in the comments right now. So Andrew Cortez Thanks for the fourth code. So if you claim that, good for you, man. You're very quick into
Fast
claiming
hands.
these codes.
Let's go.
And yeah, shout out to CJ right here in the comment section, and
Shout out.
shout out to you all who actually watched the stream, and for those of you guys whom we've met on last weekend in the
Yes.
Conquest Festival, and yeah, you'll see more of us, of course, in the next War of Empires session. And anything you want to add, MG?
Um. Yeah. Just see you in the next War of Imperium, and hopefully that you can actually check the codes, check the promotions, and check the updates from time to time on the Discord
Yes.
and the
All right.
website as well. And make sure to take advantage of that.
Yes. And once again, we are your casters. My name is James,
My name is MG.
and see you all guys in the next session. Bye.